Welcome all to my mountain cottage build. This build will be for the blacksmith's daughter, Rochelle, who is also a blacksmith. The build will be broken up into multiple videos because there's a lot of ground to cover here. I will link the other videos in the description as they're released. I got inspiration from this build from this beautiful image here. However, I make a ton of changes and rebuild it in my own image. This is a picture of inspiration, and I have no intention of recreating it exact. So you will notice big differences between the two once the dust settles. Hang out for a bit, grab a coffee, let's see where this build takes us. So first things first, right? Let's get our foundations down. So I want this to sit probably like that high. I think that looks good. I think I want this thing to face this way. So with that being said, bring this out maybe 2. Focusing on the entryway staircase, I want it to be curved. I stick with it for a while, but I change it later in another episode. But it'll do for now. Yeah, there we go, something like that, right? But now, let's get working on these walls. I made my walls a full wall in height. And then I added the additional 2 meters on top to give us just a little bit more headroom. Okay, now this thing's gonna have a tall old fireplace on it. The purpose of framing the fireplace out now is to save time in the long run of deleting a lot of wall space. But this also allows me to know exactly where it's going to sit, so I can clearly make additions around it instead of guessing where it's gonna be. Right there. Nailed it. Flip her around. And you know what? To give us a little bit more room, let's go ahead and take that wall down. I do this a lot. I kind of get like inspiration as I'm building, so I tend to change things a lot. But it's all good. And the game's super easy too to fix things, and that's what I love. If you don't like the way something looks, it's not difficult to change it. So I think we'll take it out that far and we'll bring it all the way back. Making this addition here will give us more room to work with on the inside. I like to build my shelf first, then make adjustments as I go. So first, I know the available space. Then, I add onto it if needed. Just like that. Let's make sure everything's lined up on the outside. Yep. So now what we want to do is we want to replicate this on the other side. Okay, let's go ahead and double layer this roof. Now what we're gonna do is take out this here. I double layer my roofs to get rid of the walls clipping through the top. It hides it nicely and it just makes your build look that much cleaner in the end. Nice, that felt great. All right, there we go. Not bad, not bad. Next, I want to build a pop out above the front window. So I shave off this corner here and bring it back 2 blocks. That way I have the right space needed to line the window up with the pop out above. But it's also going to be handy when I do the roof for my porch. All right, taking a small break from the roof. I think I want to add some depth to these corners. And we're gonna do this with stone. I love the way the rough stone blocks look. There's a naturalism to it that I enjoy with these medieval style builds. I use this block a lot throughout my builds. Sweet. Okay. I'm gonna add an extra little lip of roof here. Okay, for the porch. I want it covered following the same angle as the pop out above, like this. Should be easy enough to get in there. I have plenty of space now that the wall on the left has been shifted. I finally went and grabbed a chest with extra materials and a bed, so I wouldn't have to teleport back home every time night fell. A late precaution, which isn't really a precaution at all, is it? More like a product of necessity. So let's finish off this peak here. Alright, we're on the right track here. Now I think it's time to get this chimney up. Oh, that hurt. Removing a few of these blocks should give an old-timey look, like it's been here for a while and is starting to degrade. It's a small detail, but it's totally worth it, at least to me. Uh-oh. There we go. I can live with that. Now to finish up this fireplace. Okay, now we can pop a window here, a window here. Okay, so in order to do this side, we're gonna have to kind of start mapping out the inside. So let's take a second and get all this cleaned up in here. Alright, so starting to map out the interior, I was left with a ton of choices, which made it difficult for me to come out with a design that I really liked. Too many options isn't always a good thing. So I start by placing floors and walls for a lofted sleeping area, but this will go through a few changes before I stick with the design that I really like. Now the reason I wanted to map the inside before completing the exterior of the left side of the build was to get this patio in. I want the patio extension from the loft in order to put the blacksmith's workspace underneath it outside. Alright, now that the patio is built, I could take some time to design the structure the way I want. I have envisioned a somewhat enclosed area, but not fully. It needs to feel like an outdoor workshop still. So I'll give it some archways to enclose it in slightly, but it'll still leave plenty of open space and airflow for those hot days in the forge. Moving back inside to finish mapping out the interior, I needed to get my staircase in from floor to floor. It's not a lot of space to work with, so creativity is going to be key here. I tried a few different styles and designs before I finally found the proper flow for the layout. It's easy to just slap up a simple staircase or a ladder somewhere, but to design something with purpose and intent and flow is a whole other challenge. Alright, so I think we're going to try and sneak our staircase in right here. And now I'm left with a couple of options here. I can bring this straight down like that. The other option would bring it back down this direction. Yeah, I like that. It's more open. Get this here, and we're gonna close this off. I want it to be one deeper, like that, because that's gonna come into play when we start doing interior decorating on this. Because I want to put like an inset nook in there, so I'll carve it out and I'll put like a lamp or something in there. It'll look kind of cool. Maybe a couple of books. So I feel like, yep, there needs to be more in here. Oh, that's perfect. I love it. There we go. Now, I also want to open up this wall here to put the kitchen. So let's get rid of that. This is what I was referring to earlier in the episode. Making adjustments as the build evolves. I want more room for the kitchen area. That way when we decorate this, we have more available space to get creative with it. A very easy change that will enhance the build overall later. Let's go ahead and get this log out of the way. Perfect. So I don't mind taking the time now to make little changes such as this. Plus, adding these additions with these extra roofs really allows your build to gain an interest. So don't be afraid to get in there and add an extension here or there while giving them their own roof line. So as far as this, I think we just want to do walls on the sides. Now we can actually get rid of this. Okay, the fireplace. Now this is going to be tricky because we don't want it too big on the interior. Now this part's cool because you're given so many options to be creative and to do what you want. Like, how do you want your mantle and your fireplace itself to look? Put that in, and then we'll backfill this. Okay, after playing around for a little bit, this is a design that I came up with that I think is pretty cool. Not too bad, but there's just so many options you can do, and so far I think I'm happy with that. I don't think it'll change, but hey, anything can change at any point. But right now I think that's pretty cool looking. Alright, with the fireplace out of the way, I focused on my roof peaks. I wanted to have spires across the ridges of my roof lines. Yep, that's cool. I think I like that. Okay, now I just need, well, a lot of them. Start with 25, I guess. So to accomplish this, I put beams across on the inside of my roof peaks, and then I used a prison fence to set them on top of those beams. Like that. Yep, I think that's the way we're gonna have to do it. Well, that wasn't as tedious as I thought. Hopefully it did what I wanted it to. Huh, it sure did. There we go. And now this side. Boom. Right there. Ooh, so close. You know what? I think I can live with that. Go ahead and get rid of this for now. Once I got all that situated and lined up how I wanted, which was kind of a pain, I deleted the beams used to set the fences on. And then I rebuilt the beams higher up to trim out the interior and to kind of hide the fence as best as I could. Nice, that trim is coming along nicely. Yeah, I'm good with that. I get so overcritical about such small details that don't even matter, and I'm trying to get myself past that, because normally I wouldn't be okay with something like that. I wouldn't even be okay with like these little pieces of iron sticking through. That would drive me nuts. In the end, when you're in here and you're just kind of looking around, you know, you're not nitpicking every little, you're just checking it out. It's like, it's going to be cool. And truthfully, that you probably wouldn't even notice that, but that looks good. I like it. Okay, so now I think we should do interior details next. Get it all decorated and stuff. That way we know exactly where our windows are going to be, where the furniture is, because all that can change once we start filling this place up with furniture. And with that, the shell is complete. We'll knock out the interior in the next video. Thank you for hanging out. Take care.